Look at my Star Trek toys! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Look at My Star Trek Toys. And today we are going to be doing an unboxing and review of a exciting Art Asylum figure. I'm excited to get into it. But first, I do what I do every episode, and that's, Mike, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right, Keith. I appreciate your concern. I appreciate your sympathy, empathy, and love, to be quite frank. So if I'm not mistaken, even though we air these so bizarrely, we looked at Nero recently, and I have to say, we were pretty into it.
Yes.
And we did have some comments though, Keith, that said that this was that the Nero was the top of the Art Asylum line. So,
okay, all of that is wrong.
Is it?
No.
What were they referring to?
I mean, yes, Nero is the best, but it's the Playmates 2009 Abrams movie line that Nero is the best of.
Oh, okay.
Art
That's
Asylum
not
is
what
a
we're looking
different
at.
company. No, we are. I still have more of those, but nobody cares about that line at all. So I'm gonna see.
Clearly, I do.
So when we do another one of those, you'll know we've run out of other stuff.
Or money, because Mike can't keep buying crap.
Oh, I don't even know where your money's coming from. I don't know what's happening. But I, on the other hand, collected this figure on Facebook Marketplace. Got a unbelievable deal on a whole tub of fun stuff. So, what do you say? With no further ado, let's take a look at this figure, and which is the Art Asylum 2002 Star Trek Nemesis line. These are the 7-inch scale figures. Now, if you might remember, a couple weeks ago, we looked at data from this very line, so we can compare and contrast our Picard and our data here. But these are pretty fun figures. I know that Nemesis, the movie, not a favorite for many people, and apparently, of the Art Asylum figures, the Nemesis line isn't quite as good as some of the other lines, including the Enterprise line.
That's what I said, right?
We saw the Mayweather. Nope, still wrong.
Okay, cool.
This is the Enterprise was it's the TV show Enterprise. We were looking at Star Trek, the 2009 J.J. Abrams is the Nero one. But you know what? Hold on. Take the camera off me. I'll go grab Nero. Let's bring him into the party.
Why can't we keep the camera on you, buddy?
See, all right. So now, all right. Let us clear up for Mike the difference between these figures.
We got Nero.
Okay. So this is the Nero from the
small.
2009. This is Playmates.
Okay.
And this is from Enterprise. This is Ensign Mayweather from Enterprise, and this is Data from Nemesis. And so these are the two of the same scale, although actually having them side by side here, that's
Data
interesting.
looks much bigger.
Why is Data bigger than Mayweather? I don't actually know how tall he is, but I think he's probably taller than Spiner. But whatever, that's not the figure we're looking at today. Today we are looking at the Captain Jean-Luc Picard here in the Nemesis box. I think it's a really cool looking box. And you can see they only did 4 figures from Nemesis. So they did Picard, Data, Shinzon, and the Viceroy. So we don't get the rest of the crew. However, I think in other lines, because anybody who watches this knows that my favorite uniform of all time is this era uniform. And I do believe we get the rest of the cast from other lines. But this is the only 4 that came out of Nemesis. So you can see on the back here, they were doing the big push for the beginning of Enterprise, which was season 1 at this point. And similar to the XO6s, we actually get credits on the figures.
We appreciate
which
that.
I very much appreciate. And, these people deserve to be credited. So, including 3D scans and package design, mold tech. I don't know what a mold tech does, but it seems cool. All right. So what do you say? Let's break into this bad boy, shall we?
Okay.
All right.
Big boy knife time.
It is big boy. I did get a big boy knife. I don't think it's going to be necessary today. I think we can just go in. And now we have the extended sequence of me battling seatbelts.
I hope you have something sharp for that.
Well, you can't really because they're metal. What we need to do is like the speed up. If we speed up the footage, let's no. No, what is the Benny Hill theme? Anyway, all right. So, in terms of choking hazards, not a lot come with this figure. We looked at this. If you want to know what's in here, go and check some of our previous videos because we do go through that. Sticker of Nemesis actually attached to the this plastic, which is kind of cool. I don't know. You could do something with that. So we get our.
You have a tramp stamp of that, don't you?
A tramp stamp of Star Trek Nemesis.
Now that would be your Bumble profile.
I'm so confident this one's going to be great. If I did it before the movie came out.
100%. Oh, that's funny. We
Oh,
got the
my
Pog,
God.
right?
Right, we've got the Pog now.
We're not worried about anybody stealing the toy from the shelf. We're just worried about this Pog, so we better quadruple tape it.
Yeah, for sure. And like risk my life with my big boy knife and the little Pog or challenge coin. Now, one thing that I noticed on it, we didn't talk about before, the inscription on it is funny. So it says Art Asylum's official seal of insanity
For crazy kids.
crazy kids. Psycho toys for crazy kids. I like it. I like
do.
it.
I'm not sure that that stands the test of time, but we'll go with it.
Yeah, well, look. Well, at least they can differentiate between the two meanings of the word asylum. You know what I mean?
Wow.
There's somebody very prominent in the world here who thinks that asylum seekers means they went from an insane asylum because it doesn't understand there's two meanings of it. Whatever. All right, so in here we have the phaser, which also gets a seatbelt. I've never seen the phaser choking hazard get its own big old seatbelt, but it sure does. So, let's get all the detail in there for you. Come on. So this is, for this scale of a figure, there actually is a fair amount of detail on that. Looks like, I don't know if you can see that.
Yep.
Yeah, you can actually see the bar to. Looks like it's on yellow, so we're on stun. It's gonna be fine. Everybody's
Somebody's
gonna be
job was in that line with a detail brush just going.
Yeah. And I wonder if that could be automated or whether that had to be by hand because it is so small. All right, so here we go. Here is Jean-Luc Picard.
You can never have too many Picards, right, buddy?
Oh, never. And this is such a good iconic one. All right, let me see if I can get his face. All right, that's it.
It's not bad. He was doing Atkins for a couple weeks when he was doing this.
He looks yeah. It looks like he could maybe use a glass of water, but yeah. Look, it's all right. I've seen better Picard sculpts, but it is very clearly and very obviously him. And you can see a little age in his face on this figure that you don't see in a lot of the others, which makes sense. Considering this is the oldest he was.
There's a lot of work that goes into the giving it the effect of motion in that hard plastic costuming.
Yeah, they do. So, all right. So let's break down what is rubbery and what is not. It's a rubbery breakdown, everybody. We need a bumper for that. So everything is hard plastic except for just the very, very bottom of his uniform here. Just this last little seam here is rubberized. Everything else is hard plastic all the way through. So unfortunately, we can't do an abs check. But I would assume Patrick Stewart is ripped under there, obviously.
Single-digit body fat for sure.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. When we have our captain's pips there. Now, are those painted or are those... Oh, actually, you know what? I take it back. His turtleneck here is also soft rubber. which is interesting because you just have those two pieces there, but it's such a tiny amount of rubber for that to bother. Now, I want you to be able to see. Maybe I need something like a piece of paper here, just so you can. Oh, there we go. So you see the stubble and the little bit of gray there on his hair, on the back of his head there.
Oh yeah.
Which is, I think that's actually pretty cool because, like, as opposed to having, yeah, so there you go. As opposed to having the sort of sculpted, thicker white hair like we'd get from some of the Playmates figures, this has it much more stubbly.
That's
which
cool.
I think it looks pretty good. So nice little details there. Maybe you can see his face a little better here against the white. Oh, there we go. So good sculpt, good paint. Pretty. I mean, that's pretty good. Good, decent articulation here because we do have an elbow or a shoulder joint. Do not have much elbow articulation, but it's just sort of forward and back, which is the same with the knee as well. But you do get a little bit of ankle, which is nice, and it's a heavy figure. It's
substantial.
Really, it is definitely pretty substantial, pretty heavy. And in terms of talking about the differences between the lines here, and how the Nemesis figure might have saved some money on it, because I think that there is more articulation in the Enterprise figures. See, you have this type of shoulder as well as the ball joint here for the Mayweather. The knees are still forward like that, but also you have a sort of you can open the legs. You cannot do that on these figures. So I see why people think these Nemesis line were a little bit half-baked. And in the Playmates line, there's all sorts of variations on how the articulation went. But once you sort of get near the end of the line, the Warp Factor Series 5, they lost most of their articulation. And some of the film ones, like the Generations Star Trek, the Playmates line, very little articulation. So they got a little cheaper. I guess they thought that the movies would sell a little bit less than the main line. I don't know. But it is interesting to see the differences there. And in terms of height, yeah, see, Patrick Stewart is as tall as Mayweather too. And I don't think that's true. We do see some height on Data there. That's interesting. All right, so Mike, give us your impressions. I'm going to do a height check here.
It's funny. Maybe it's the uniform that I'm digging, because I have to say I prefer the Nemesis ones to that Enterprise figure.
In terms of the uniform? Oh, no question.
In terms of the overall figure, but I think it's the uniform that is doing the selling for me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that is fair. All right, so how tall is Anthony Montgomery? That's what I want to know.
So these are 6-inch figures, so they're what's that, 1/12 scale?
He's 5'10". Okay, so you know what? Maybe that's right. These are 7-inch figures.
So that's like I can't do the math, but I think of the 12-inch figures are 1/6 scale.
Right. So okay, you know what? I take it back. Patrick Stewart, according to Wikipedia, is 5'10", and so they're the right height. How tall is Brent Spiner? This is the How Tall Is Your Favorite Star Trek Actor podcast.
That's why they invented Siri. You don't even have to type it anymore, Keith.
I'm not do you think I'm gonna have something listening to me 24/7 in my
Google,
house?
how tall is Brent Spiner?
He's 5'11", so Brent is my height.
There you have it, 5'11".
All right, okay, all right. So I take it all back. The scale is 100% correct. Good job, Art Asylum. Yeah, I think that, I like these figures. I think I like the scale of them. They feel very sort of hefty. they do have this weird forward lean.
It's almost like they were on their iPhones too much.
Yes, they're all a little on their iPhones too much. So they all. Sorry, that's a little
Human centipede. But
I wish them all well, and however they spend their day, but they do all have a little bit of the Hunchback feel, which also means, folks who have this Merryweather figure, can you get it to stand up on the shelf? Because I can't.
Interesting, and no stands, huh?
No stands. This dude throws himself off the shelf every single day.
Keith,
haven't figured that out.
Do they have pegs for stands and their feet?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say, because didn't a patron of ours send you a bunch of stands
For the Playmates figures?
Yeah, same.
And believe me, I use them. It has saved my day having a lot more of the Playmate stands from cats and children. So it's been a big help. All right, so there we go. We are halfway through the Art Asylum Nemesis figures, although I don't have the other two, so I'm going to have to get online and get my hands on that to complete that. But you know what? I like them. I like these figures. I think they look great on the shelf, and they're slightly less expensive to track down than the X06s. But you never know. I just keep an eye out looking for deals. You never know. Facebook Marketplace, good place to find it. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to our patrons
100%.
at patreon.com/KNM. You got that slide?
I do, buddy. Wow.
Boom, there it is. These are the people who are supporting our show in lots of different ways, financially, getting all sorts of bonus stuff, or you can send us stuff in the mail. Just reach out to us at lookatmystartrektoys@gmail.com to arrange sending them to me and not to Mike.
Fair.
And it's been really fun. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you back here. Oh, Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
Here,
for sure.
The big kids. Definitely. Thank you to the Hall of Famers. We'll see you back here with another episode of Look at My Star Trek Toys.